Welcome to Something to Talk About from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center. We're here to talk about Everybody Eats Week, and that's an activity that's coming up next week, coming up very soon, depending on when you're actually listening or watching to this podcast. Before we get started, I would like to thank Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island for being a sponsor of the Senior and Community Center. Fieldstone sponsors Something to Talk About. They also offer independent living, assisted living, and memory care up on Rolling Bay. If you would like to learn more about their programs, including day stay and respite activities, you can call Randy O'Neill or Sierra Wood. Their phone number is 206-594-1010. They'd also be glad to give you a tour and treat you to lunch or dinner if you stop by for a visit. I'd also like to mention that we are meeting on the ancestral homeland of the Suquamish, the people of the clear salt water, who have lived here since time immemorial. We honor them and are learning from their stewardship of the Salish Sea and its shoreline. Dee Eisenhauer, who is the longtime pastor at Eagle Harbor Congregational Church, is here with us. She's also been a big proponent with others at the faith community of Crop Walk, which is a program that has been happening every year through Church World Service to support Helpline and Fishline. And so that's growing a little bit into a whole week of activities. Thank you very much, Dee, for joining us.
It is my pleasure to be here with you.
So tell us a little bit about the history of Crop Walk, if you could, the fundraiser that has been going on for quite a while here and, of course, across the world.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know exactly when Crop Walks started to be held here on Bainbridge Island and in North Kitsap County, but in terms of the United States tradition of Crop Walks, Crop Walks started in 1969. And there are more than 500 crop walks around the country that have raised something like $6 million per year. And so in our arrangement, our local arrangement is that the money that we raise through our crop walk, or in this case, our crop walks and dance, go 75% to Church World Service, and then they return 25% of that money that's raised. 15% of it goes to Helpline House and 10% goes to Fishline to support our local food banks. And that's a similar arrangement is made with in other crop walks around the country, that they fund Church World Service work, and they also fund local food banks and soup kitchens, so that the point is to reduce hunger. That's the main point.
Right.
But the work of Church World Service is about more than feeding hungry people, and I can say a little bit about that if that's of interest.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's interesting, I think, to people who might be interested in knowing whether, with a name like Church World Service, whether if they're contributing to this, they're contributing to some sort of
Evangelical mission.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, evangelistic mission. No, Church World Services work falls in 4 areas. First is hunger and health, and that's what the crop walks are particularly about. So that they're trying to make sure that people have food to survive, but it's not just a handout of food. They also do a lot of programs that have to do with supporting and educating farmers and helping to provide clean water. And so they have projects all around the world that are designed to help people sustain their own living. They also do disaster and emergency response. And so this past year, quite a bit of Church World Service relief went to the Texas floods, the Missouri floods, the Wisconsin floods, and those kinds of immediate disaster relief. They'll go in offering food and then offering supplies to help clean up after a flood and that sort of thing. They do displacement and protection work. They have had a big refugee resettlement program. And since in this country where the refugee program has been greatly reduced. I mean, that's unfortunate, and some of the Church World Service staff has also been reduced because there isn't funding, the partnership funding to do the refugee work that they have historically done. But they are working with refugees all around the world, and one of the places they've been working very actively is in Ukraine, where many people have been displaced by the war, and they've offered a welcome center and an office in Odessa, and are noting that there's more than 1 million people that need humanitarian aid in Odessa or in Ukraine, and they're trying to be a part of that offering of relief. And then they do advocacy and justice work as well, advocating for refugees and for policies that will mitigate hunger and disasters and address climate change all around the world. So that's their main thing. Church World Service is a conglomeration of many different partner churches, including my own denomination, the United Church of Christ. And I would like to say also that Church World Service works with other global relief agencies like Catholic Relief Services. And I can't name all of them, but they're in quite a very lively partnership. And one of the things that they do is coordinate so that you don't have a lot of big aid organizations all showing up at the same spot trying to do the same work. They're coordinating and talking with one another so that there's balance and cooperation in various locations around the world.
And here on the island, this is a cooperative campaign that involves a lot of different faith communities, right? It's sponsored by the Interfaith Council.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, the Interfaith Council. I should have the whole list of member faith organizations, and I don't, but there are 15 or 20 religious communities that are involved in the local Interfaith Council. So one of the things that that the Interfaith Council this year has as a priority is reducing food insecurity, and so we're starting off with a bang here with our conception of not just doing another crop walk, and I'm just going to say, by the way, there's been a crop walk here as far as I can recall every year since I've been on the island, which has been since 1999. And I know it preceded me. So some number of years, probably 30 years or more, there's been a crop walk here. And the Interfaith Council has always been the sponsoring organization for it. So the Interfaith Council, yeah. So they're once again, there's a task force that's kind of organizing it on the side, but it's sponsored by and related to the Interfaith Council.
I come up with 23 names looking at the Interfaith Council's website.
Oh, thank you.
Including Eagle Harbor Church, Rolling Bay, Seabold, Bethany Lutheran, St. Cecilia, Suquamish UCC, First Church of Christ Scientist, St. Barnabas, Cedars Unitarian, the Nipisan Mihoji Buddhist Temple, the Spiritual Enrichment Center, Agate Passage Friends, Soko Gakkai Buddhists, Grace Episcopal, Faith Episcopal, the Shabbat Shir Hayam and Congregation Kol Shalom, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Baha'is of Bainbridge, Dances of Universal Peace, and Unity of North Kitsap. And there may be others who have joined since that list was posted, because I posted it a few years ago on the Interfaith site.
And the Interfaith Council also has one that I can think of, kind of allied group, which is Kitsap Pride, and a representative from Kitsap Pride, Eve Fillet, with whom you're very familiar at the Senior Center, often attends our Interfaith Council meetings as well as a representative of that community.
So the crop walk was like a 3-mile walk around Winslow for many years. And I think last year, maybe, or the year before, you added a wrinkle to that by inviting, participating with the Dances of Universal Peace. So you're doing that again this year?
Yes, we are. We had just noticed that the participation in the crop walk had been dwindling somewhat. Fewer and fewer people. And so after an event an Interfaith Council event at which everybody did a Dances of Universal Peace around the edges of a sanctuary, it was kind of my brainchild to say, well, why don't we refresh this event by trying something different? So we arranged to have, instead of an outdoor walk, an indoor Dances of Universal Peace dance. And that it went well. We didn't have tons of participants, but we were able to raise around $15,000, which was then matched by a $15,000 gift from an anonymous donor who has for many years given a matching grant to the crop walk. So this year we're doing the Universal Dances of Universal Peace dance again on September 28th, which is a Sunday at 1:30 p.m. here at Eagle Harbor Church. And in addition, we wanted to invite people to design their own walk if they would have preferred not to come to the dance, that they can have a walk of any length down, a walk down the hall or a walk 10 miles up into the mountains, to ask for some pledges for the Church World Service crop and do their own thing, and we'll put all the money into the pot. So I know that there are some smaller group walks that are being arranged already, and I think some individual walks will happen as well.
So there is the way to participate by walking and raising money by signing up at the Crop Hunger Walk website, or is there another way to go about it?
That's the best way, I think, to sign up, because it's fairly easy and because there are a lot of fundraising tools on so if you go to CWS, well, here, I'll just pop it up so I make sure that I say it correctly.
Yeah. Okay, I found this Crop Hunger Walk.
That's right. And then in the search box, you put in Bainbridge, North Kitsap, or just BAI. BAI will pop it right up, and you can join our walk. You can make a team, or you can join a team, or you can just register as an individual. For those who don't want to use this website, and they're fantastic fundraising tools, I'm a big fan, but we also have paper envelopes. I'll show you mine if I can put my hands on it.
Okay.
And I have many of these at Eagle Harbor Church that I'm glad to share with anybody. So you can just put your checks and cash and whatever funds you're able to raise, checks written to CWS/crop, into an envelope. And then we have a treasurer who will collect these and make sure that the funds are accounted for and then sent off to Church World Service, and then they'll send some money back.
Great. Sounds wonderful. And that's the sort of culmination this year
That is.
of a week of
Everybody.
activities.
Yeah.
So Crop Hunger Walk has sort of morphed into Everybody Eats Week. Say more about that, please.
Yes, we decided that we wanted to try to involve even more people than the crop walks and dances have involved. And the need is especially sharp this year, because in part because some of the government has cut back funding for food banks, and so the need is greater. They're trying to serve more people with less resources. So in response, we are we're starting with prayers for a hungry world on Monday, September 22nd at 6 p.m. That's going to be at Pia the Peacekeeper at Sakai Park. So we'll have various people who will be offering prayers for hungry people, and we'll also be receiving non-perishable food and contributions at that event. On Wednesday, September 24th, we're hosting a food drive at Town and Country Market from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we'll just be doing what the Interfaith Council has done in past years, which is, and you see off sometimes by other organizations, standing at the door with lists of things that the food banks need and asking people to include in their grocery shopping a gift for the food drive. On Thursday, September 25th, we're hosting a high tea for helpline at 3 p.m. at St. Barnabas Episcopal Church. We have recently retired Chef Greg Atkinson, who is going to be making the treats for that.
Wow, that's pretty special.
Right. And then the executive director of Helpline House, Maria Metzler, will be there. And our hope is to hear from both Greg and Maria about what it means to them to be part of feeding hungry people. You know, what does it mean for them personally and spiritually, and have a little conversation around that, in addition to enjoying a really beautiful
That's on
event.
Thursday?
Thursday, September 25th, 3 p.m. at St. Barnabas Episcopal Church. On Saturday, September 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're hosting a food drive at the Bainbridge Island Safeway. And then on Sunday, September 28th at 1:30, we'll have our culminating event, the crop dance, here at Eagle Harbor Church. And we would be delighted. I mean, one reason why we wanted to expand our crop event was to try to reach into a few more corners here in our community of Bainbridge Island and North Kitsap County, to, you know, just enlist the generosity of more and more people who might not be interested in doing our standard crop walk or dance.
Mm-hmm. And it extends it for a few days and connects the message that we can talk about as we are today, about how important it is to help people in our own neighborhoods and around the world, and that those efforts are connected.
We're also encouraging local faith communities and nonprofit organizations to have their own food drive during this Everybody Eats Week. And one of our team members is going around with boxes and with our brand Everybody Eats that will be taped to the box. And the Senior Center is one of the places that is hosting a food drive during that week. There are other places around the island. We have a pretty small core team that's been working on this whole project. So, you know, we're just reaching as many as we can, but we won't be able to cover every organization.
So if you're interested in participating, probably the obviously you can show up on Wednesday or Thursday, but everybody's welcome. And I assume you'll be collecting donations at PIA, the Peacekeeper, on
Yes, we will.
okay, at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Is that right?
At 6 o'clock p.m. on Monday, the 22nd.
Oops, the 22nd.
But
I didn't quite.
I can definitely, I would be happy to send you this whole event poster if you have a place to put it, and
Yes.
also a reference.
I'll also attach it to a link to it in this podcast, so you can make a link to it there. And then everybody's welcome at Eagle Harbor Church on the 27th. Are there special arrangements for, I'm sorry, the 28th?
That's right.
I'm having a calendar challenge here, but is there a way to sign up for the high tea? Is that listed in your?
Yes, there's a reservation form. And if you go to binkinterfaith.org, which is the Interfaith Council's website, there's a link there with it. We're not selling tickets at this point. We're asking a $45 donation to come to the tea. And then we'll also ask, you know, at the event if anybody wants to give more to Helpline House. But we are only taking a certain number of reservations, 50 in all. So that's the one thing that it would be most important to RSVP for. If you want to volunteer to help with the food drives, there are also links for Sign Up Genius to put your name on the list of somebody who will show up there and stand and invite people to share food as they're doing their grocery shopping.
So the RSVP is for the Thursday?
For the Thursday, that's the important RSVP if you want to attend, so that we don't overbook it.
There you go.
Food, that would be
that would not go well with the Everybody Eats Week.
That's exactly right.
Well, thank you, Dee. I think we've covered it all. Is there anything you want to add? I want to thank you and and all the people in the Interfaith Council who have done this for many years. And a special thanks to the anonymous donor who makes the efforts double just like that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I can just report that as of this moment, we have pledged $6,781 to the Bainbridge North Kitsap Crop Walk. And I hope that that we will reach our goal of $20,000, which will then be matched by $20,000. So if anybody listening out there wants to donate, please do so any way that you can, by paper or cash or online at the CWS Crop Walk website. We will be delighted, and I'm already delighted with how well it's going. And I to know that there's another almost $4,000 that hasn't been registered yet, but we're on our way, and I'm really looking forward to celebrating generosity and helping people who need food to get some food, and helping people who need other kinds of help to get some help. It's an important, this is going to be an era going forward, I think, of increasing importance of mutual aid, that we look after our neighbors, and we do so, not just haphazardly, but with a plan and with effort and care, and being even more generous than perhaps we've been in the past.
Thank you, Dee. Reverend Dr. Dee Eisenhauer with Eagle Harbor Congregational UCC and the Interfaith Council. Really appreciate your time, and look in the links below for ways that you can participate or find out what's next.